Hey there.
History will be our judge, but what's written is up to us. We can't say our generation didn't know how to do it, and we can't say our generation couldn't afford it, and we can't say our generation didn't have reason to do it. It's up to us. Bono, 2006. God loves the poor, and as followers of Christ, we should also love the poor and strive to live out that value in our lives. I've personally been able to work among the poor in South Africa, and I've observed firsthand the problems that happen as a result of poor education. Lack of education limits opportunities for many South Africans and leads to the cycle of poverty. God values all people, regardless of race or social status, and as a church, it's our responsibility to care for the poor. Key education issues is the first thing that we'll talk about. Then we'll talk about why God values the poor, and finally we'll talk about our role in joining God in his mission to reach the poor. During apartheid, South Africans were severely mistreated. From 1917 to 1995, on average, black South Africans made only 8.8% of what a white South African made per capita. Since the slow demise of apartheid, inequality has continued. According to World Factbook, CIA 2012, 93% of adult South Africans are literate, but other sources indicate that this statistic has been overestimated. Irwin, 2011. Businesses have reported that they have trouble hiring qualified black workers because they are undereducated or lack the skills necessary to perform the job well. According to Seekings 2007, poor education and poverty remain years after apartheid because of racial segregation based on social and cultural norms. God cares for the poor and oppressed, and he loves people irregardless of race or social status. James 1:27 says, "Religion that our God the Father accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained from the world." If we claim to be true followers of Christ, then we must love the poor and serve them. Proverbs 22:2 says, "Rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all." It's clear that God values the rich and poor alike because he has made all of us in his image. And if we claim to follow Christ, then we'll value the things that he values. Jesus has entrusted the responsibility of caring for the church to us, or caring for the poor to us, the church. God places a special emphasis on caring for the poor throughout the Bible. And during Jesus' ministry, he gave sight to the blind, healed the sick, raised the dead, and proclaimed the good news to the poor. We should strive to do the same in our lives. Richard Stern is the president of World Vision United States, and he wrote in his book, The Hole in Our Gospel, that there are 3 obstacles to loving the poor: awareness, access, and ability. In the past couple of minutes, I've made you aware of the issues going on in South Africa right now. Because of technology and the ease of transportation in today's society, we finally have easy access to the countries around the world. Finally, we can't say that we don't have the ability to meet the needs that the South African people have, because now we have tested means of improving education and providing job training for people to have the skills necessary to have quality jobs. By no means does this make this task easy, but I challenge you to ask yourself what might be keeping you from helping the poor. Poor education in South Africa has led to a cycle of poverty. God values all people, regardless of their race or social status, and it's our responsibility to care for the poor as a church. Organizations such as Umthombo and Common Good are currently working in South Africa to provide job training and education improvement to help the poor. Would you consider joining them? We're aware of the needs around the world, and we have access to meet the people where they are. And we have the ability to help. Just one question remains: what will we do about it?